What an enthusiastic audience. Welcome to our program tonight. Our two guests are going to be informing us of things they've written in their book. They're saying that there is a great lie that is sweeping across America. A seduction is taking place in our country that is encompassing our people in science, our people in government, people in medicine, psychology, into the United Nations, and it actually encompasses those in the religious world. All of the Christian denominations are being taken in by this lie. Now that's quite a statement, and we want to find out what they're talking about tonight. And our guests are Mrs. Johanna Michelson and Mr. Dave Hunt. Dave, I'd like to come to you first. There is a man that you have written about in your book. His name is Napoleon Hill. He has written the best-selling book of Think and Grow Rich, and many people that we've had on the program have referred to that book, both Christian and non-Christian. Many people in the secular world, in big business and finance, have referred to that book as being a life-changing book to them, that it helped them. You start off with that book as saying it has a part of this big lie that you say is coming across America. I'd like to know what you're talking about.
Okay, John. Let me read, first of all, just to back up what you said, a quote from a Success Motivation Institute tape by Earl Nightingale. Now, Earl Nightingale is probably one of the best-known motivational success speakers. You'll pick him up on Nightingale Conant Corporation tapes. If you're flying American Airlines or other airlines, you know, you can pick these up. He says, without question, he's referring to Think and Grow Rich, without question, this single book has had a greater influence on the lives, accomplishments, and fortunes of more individuals than any other work of its kind. All over the free world, there are literally thousands of successful men in all lines of work who are where they are today because they once bought a copy of Think and Grow Rich, and they'll be quick to tell you so. I've sat in richly paneled, carpeted executive offices, listened to world-famous business leaders and so on, and he says all over the free world, thousands of men whose lives have been changed by this book. I'm telling you that this book is teaching straight occultism.
Okay.
The New Testament talks about a revival of sorcery in the last days.
Witchcraft.
Witchcraft, you know, as I sit here saying this, I know that most people won't believe it. So let me just read what Napoleon Hill himself had to say.
Right.
Now this is from another one of his books called Grow Rich with Peace of Mind. And I'm reading from pages...
And these books are on the newsstands even right now.
Right, they're all bestsellers.
Right.
He is the granddaddy of the success, motivation, positive mental attitude world that our businessmen and executives, sales managers, etc. are studying. Napoleon Hill declares, quote, "Now and again, I have had evidence that unseen friends hover about me, unknowable to the ordinary senses. In my studies, I discovered there's a group of strange beings who maintain a school of wisdom. The school has masters who can disembody themselves and travel instantly to any place they choose to give knowledge directly by voice. Now, it's my contention that these are demons, unless you believe that there is some school of masters out on the astral plane and that these beings are of some other dimension and they can disembody and travel across the astral plane and materialize right in front of you. If you want to believe in that, fine. But I think all the evidence would indicate that these are demonic entities who are out to deceive the human race."
But you were getting to the point that he talked about these ascended masters that gave him the information. Tell us how he talks about that.
Let's read Napoleon Hill again. "Now I knew that one of these masters had come across thousands of miles through the night into my study." Here's an entity that materializes right in front of him. He's talking to somebody.
Okay.
"I shall not set down every word he said. Much of what he said already has been presented to you in the chapters of this book and will follow in other chapters. It's a foundation of his writings, what he learned from this school of masters."
Okay.
Here's what the voice said. "You have earned the right to reveal a supreme secret to others," said the vibrant voice. "You have been under the guidance of the great school. Now you must give the world a blueprint." Okay? And I'm sitting here tonight to tell you that the blueprint for success that was given to Napoleon Hill by demonic entities is literally the foundation of the whole success, motivation, positive mental attitude world that you get out there when you take these courses or listen to these motivational tapes and so forth.
And we're going to prove that by not just quoting Napoleon Hill, because if you don't know that, hang in there. We got others that we're going to quote that have picked this up. And let's give the blueprint. What is one of the main things of the blueprint that he wrote in his book that the Ascended Masters gave to him?
Well, they said that whatever the human mind can conceive, the human mind can achieve.
Now, this is the supreme secret that he put into his book.
In other words, there is an infinite human potential. This is the foundation of the whole human potential movement out there. That deep within us there is a potential of infinite wisdom, of infinite power, and we simply need to know how to tap into this potential within us. Actually, if it's infinite, we get into this later, we're gods, you know, and that's where this ultimately leads. So Napoleon Hill, writing with W. Clement Stone.
W. Clement Stone is the insurance man in Chicago. Okay.
Right, wrote the book, Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude.
Okay, PMA.
They coined the phrase. They called it the science of the positive mental attitude.
But the science they got from the Ascended Masters.
Right.
Keep going.
He said, truly, deeply believe you will have great wealth, and you will have it. Now, this is a counterfeit faith of the sorcerers.
Now, this is on the secular side of the fence now.
Oh,
you believe
right.
it, you'll have it.
Right.
Okay?
The basis of this is the PMA,
Positive
or
mental
this
attitude.
Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude book, is a guide for, quote, tapping into the great universal storehouse of infinite intelligence, wherein is stored all knowledge and all facts, and which may be contacted through the subconscious. Now, he says, there is a universal law that we translate into physical reality, the thoughts and attitudes we hold in our minds, no matter what they are. We have the power to create reality with our minds. And we get in, again, later, positive and negative. That's why you must think positive thoughts. Because if you think negative thoughts, you're going to create a negative world out there for yourself. So, we are the source of power. Self becomes very important. And
in essence, David, what he is saying is that he's saying you need to look inside of yourself, and you will find powers there, and there are laws concerning when you look inside of yourself that if you follow these laws will bring you success, financially and every other way.
Right. So ultimately, we're looking to ourselves.
So basically the courses then help you, give you the information then how to look inside yourself and develop this to achieve wealth and health and everything else.
Find out who you really are.
Okay, who else picked this up? We got about a minute left before we take a break. What's the next stage?
Well, there are a lot of people that picked it up. I mean, the whole world of psychology
Name a few.
is centered in self. You can begin with Freud and Fromm and Jung and Rogers and Maslow and Pearls and
Tell me
all
how
of them.
Freud started it, how he picked it up.
Well, Freud and Jung, most people are not aware of this. Their basic theories were developed under hypnosis. Now, we don't have time to get into this, but hypnosis, in my opinion, is right out of the pit of hell. It puts you in an altered state of consciousness. Someone else is controlling your mind. Well, demonic entities can also control your mind. And some people say, well, if a medical doctor hypnotizes you, that's okay. If an occultist hypnotizes you, you got problems. I don't think the demons go by those rules. They don't care who hypnotizes you.
I don't care if you're wearing a white coat or not. Makes
Okay,
no difference.
so,
Right.
so Freud said what? Out of hypnosis he found information that said what?
He hypnotized patients, as did Carl Jung. And under hypnosis, their patients came out with alleged memories. It's a whole thing we don't have time to get into. The Supreme Court of the state of California, where Johanna and I come from, has outlawed testimony by witnesses who've been hypnotized because they know you can lie under hypnosis, you can be deceived under hypnosis, and when you've once been hypnotized, you can never thereafter tell the difference between a real memory and what may have been wittingly or unwittingly implanted by the hypnotist. And these things are created.
Why? Tell us why. Slow down and tell us why.
Because it is a primary form of suggestion. You have to make suggestions to hypnotize a person.
What's happening in your mind under hypnosis?
You're in an altered state of consciousness where you are subject to manipulation. But anyway, it was under hypnosis that their patients came out with memories. Memories of traumas they'd suffered I started to say prior lives because that's where the psychiatrists are now. First of all, in their early childhood, Freud came out with his theory of psychic determinism, that you are what your childhood experiences have made you. Carl Jung came out with the same thing. Then they postulated the idea of an unconscious. The unconscious is the deep silk hat into which the therapist reaches to find the traumas and the solution. And it has all been fabricated under hypnosis. Stanislav Grof went a little farther. He found out that when he gave LSD to schizophrenics, they came out with spontaneous memories of what happened in the womb and during the birthing process.
Which is impossible because the brainstem of a child, up to the point of even after birth, does not record memories, so there's nothing there, but they still gave back accurate information. So what you're saying is that from your point of view, that Carl Gustav Jung and Freud started building theories from people that they were listening to under hypnosis, from their so-called subconscious, that gave them the information, and now we've got psychiatrists going back in that same spot and finding out stuff that's even impossible. And you're saying that the source is not what is the subconscious, but what, David?
It's demonic. I mean, we can document that. I don't know if Johanna wants to jump in here.
Johanna, give us one example if you can.
She's had these experiences herself.
Well, you know, when Napoleon Hill talks about these guides coming to him, it's the same kind of experience that I had. From the time I was 11 years old, seeing these beings who come, they materialize, they're as real as you are standing there or you sitting here. They speak to you, they communicate, you see it in a different sense of seeing, but you know they're there. And they can indeed give the kind of information that Napoleon Hill was picking up accurately.